Ever wish there were cheat codes for wrapping your head around really complex stuff?
Yeah.
Like just download the key points without wading through a million details.
Yeah, definitely.
That's kind of the idea behind these deep dives.
Totally.
Today we're going deep on digital immersive virtual environments, or IVEs, and how they're changing the game for teaching and learning.
Oh, yeah. Lots of potential there.
Get ready for some serious aha moments, because we're going to break down the science of how we actually learn and connect in these digital spaces.
Yeah, and we've got this super insightful research to guide us.
Right. Digital Immersive Virtual Environments and Instructional Computing by Blaskovich and Beal. It's, well, it's kind of dense.
It is, but so insightful.
So think of this deep dive as your express lane to understanding what really makes learning in IVEs click. We're going way beyond a simple summary here.
Yeah, we're going to drill down to those core factors that make virtual learning sing.
Exactly. We're going to unlock the secrets of social interaction in these virtual worlds.
And that might surprise some people.
Yeah, I think so.
It's not just about the tech, it's about the people.
Totally. Okay, so to give you a roadmap, we're going to unpack 4 key theoretical concepts: theory of mind, communicative realism, the behavioral systems level, and situational self-relevance.
Big words, I know.
But we'll break them down. We'll also dig into this really cool concept called transformed social interactions, or TSIs.
Those are fun.
They hold a lot of promise for instructional design.
Oh, yeah. Tons.
Okay, so before we jump into those specifics, got to zoom out for a second. Think about how we humans experience reality, right?
Right, the authors remind us that our perception, it's always gone beyond just what's right in front of us.
Yeah, for sure.
From cave paintings, way back when,
Oh, yeah.
to movies and TV,
Yeah.
now to our computer screens and phones.
And IV8, this immersive virtual environment technology, is basically the latest, most powerful step in that evolution.
It's the cutting edge, using VR headsets to really put you in these digital worlds.
Exactly. And the whole idea is if we make learning more immersive, if we grab people's attention more fully, well, the thinking is these tech-assisted experiences should be way more effective.
It's kind of intuitive, right?
It is.
If it feels like you're actually there, the learning sticks better.
Yeah, that's the basic assumption.
Right. And then the authors take us to this super interesting point about social influence in learning.
Okay, yeah.
It's not just about the info itself, it's all wrapped up in how instructors and learners interact and affect each other.
Right. So communication in all its forms is the key, even when it comes to digital pedagogical agents.
Yeah, those virtual characters designed to teach.
Right. So the author's main argument is to really get how immersion works in these IVEs, we got to understand the social psychology of how people interact.
That's where the good stuff is.
Yeah. Especially the power of social influence.
Totally. And that brings us to their 4-factor model.
Okay, so factor number 1, theory of mind. What's the deal with that?
Well, theory of mind, it's basically our ability to recognize that other people have their own thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and intentions.
Okay.
Their own inner world.
Makes sense.
Even on a really basic level, it's about knowing what's alive and what's not.
Uh-huh.
In the real world, we automatically assume other people have minds,
Right.
Even if we're not consciously thinking about it.
Yeah.
But in virtual environments, this gets a little more complex, right?
Yeah, definitely. Because now we're dealing with digital representations of people.
Exactly. And the authors talk about this distinction between avatars, which we think of as representing actual people,
Okay.
and agents, which are basically just computer programs.
Right.
But then they point out that line can get blurry.
It does. What about those avatars that have superpowers or seem almost too real?
Yeah, totally. So what we believe about whether we're interacting with an avatar or an agent in an IVE, it can really shape our behavior.
Oh, yeah, it makes sense.
Just like how our understanding of what's alive affects how we interact with the world around us.
For sure.
If we think we're hanging out with a real person through their avatar, we might be more likely to trust them or work with them,
Yeah, then if we know it's just a computer program.
Exactly.
So the big question is, what are the cues that make us decide that?
Right, and that leads perfectly to the second factor, communicative realism.
Okay, so this isn't just about how realistic an avatar looks, right?
No, it's not just about the graphics.
Oh, okay.
The authors define it as how believable the communication itself feels.
Gotcha.
Like, how real does the interaction feel?
Right, right.
And they break down communicative realism into three main parts,
Okay,
ranked by how important they are:
okay.
movement realism, anthropometric realism,
Hmm,
and then photographic realism.
got it.
And movement is the most important. Even simple movements can activate our social brains.
Interesting.
You know those old animations with just basic shapes
Oh, yeah.
by Heider and Simmel? Even though they're not human-like, their movements made us see, like, intentions and stories.
Yeah.
More nuanced movements, like realistic gestures or eye contact, they just ramp up that feeling of actually being with another person.
Right, it's like movement brings these digital representations to life.
Exactly. Then there's anthropometric realism,
Okay.
basically having human-like body structures so they can move in a human-like way.
Yeah.
Like, you can't have a good virtual high five without a hand that looks and moves kind of like a real one, right?
Right. And finally, photographic realism.
That's more about visual identity, making the avatar look like a specific person.
Gotcha. So how do theory of mind and communicative realism work together?
Right. The authors talk about this idea of social verification, basically the feeling that you're genuinely engaging with another being.
Makes sense.
And they propose this threshold model.
Okay.
Basically, social influence is way more likely to happen if either you really believe you're interacting with a real person, that's high theory of mind, or the way the digital representation communicates feels super authentic.
Right. High communicative realism.
Exactly.
So one or the other.
Yeah. And this has huge implications for people designing instructional agents.
Yeah, the practical stuff.
Like, if learners know they're dealing with an agent, a computer program, that agent needs to be way more realistic in how it communicates, especially with nonverbal cues, to have the same impact as an avatar that people believe is a real person.
So if you're using a simple agent, you got to make its movements super lifelike to have the same effect as an avatar controlled by a real person.
Exactly.
Okay, so if it moves and acts like a human,
Right.
even if we know it's just an agent, it can still have a real impact. But there's more to it, right?
Right. That's where the behavioral response systems level comes in.
Okay, that's number 3.
This one highlights that social influence doesn't always happen consciously.
Right.
Like, sometimes our reactions are automatic, unconscious. Doesn't matter if we're in the real world or a virtual one. Think about it. You flinch if a virtual agent throws a punch at you, even though you know it can't hurt you.
Right.
Or you might unconsciously mirror a virtual instructor's head nod.
Oh, yeah, I do that all the time.
So for these more primal reactions, the difference between an avatar and an agent kind of disappears.
It's just about whether it's acting human.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this ties into the idea of unconscious information processing and those fascinating mirror neurons.
Oh, yeah, the ones that fire both when we do something and when we see someone else do it.
Right, like when you see someone yawn and you yawn too.
Oh, yeah.
It's like subconscious mirroring. The research says even virtual characters can trigger these automatic responses.
So that has implications for how we design virtual instructors.
Huge implications. We can kind of subtly guide the learning process.
That's so cool.
So to sum it up, moving like a human, whether it's an avatar or an agent, signals person to our brains, even unconsciously. For teaching and learning, this means we got to make sure those agents' nonverbals are super realistic.
Totally.
Makes sense.
It does.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so on to the final piece of this puzzle.
Self-relevance.
Number 4. How invested we are in a learning situation change the social dynamics in virtual environments?
So self-relevance is all about how personally important a social interaction feels.
Okay.
Like, imagine discussing a project that directly affects your career.
Right.
That's high self-relevance. Versus overhearing a random chat about a TV show you don't even watch.
Right. Low self-relevance.
Exactly.
Got it.
And the author suggests that self-relevance influences how much communicative realism we need from an agent to be consciously swayed by it.
Okay.
Like, if something feels super important to us, we'll probably need a virtual instructor to be really convincing to, persuade us.
Makes sense.
But if it's low stakes, that level of realism might not matter as much.
Right.
And, most learning environments are pretty goal-oriented,
They are.
making them, like, inherently self-relevant.
Right.
So again, if we're using virtual agents as instructors, we need to make sure they communicate in a really believable way.
Especially those nonverbals.
Yep.
Okay, so we've covered theory of mind, communicative realism, behavioral response systems, and self-relevance.
That's the framework.
Now, let's get into transformed social interactions, or TSIs. This is where things get really interesting.
Right. They have the potential to revolutionize how we learn in virtual spaces.
Totally. So the authors point out that unlike older tech, like phones or video conferencing, where the audio and video were pretty fixed,
Right.
IVET lets us change how those signals are transmitted, especially the visual stuff.
Yeah, we can get really creative.
And TSIs are all about using that ability to give IVE users a kind of social influence that wouldn't be possible in real life.
Superpowers, almost.
Totally.
So we're not just talking about accurately representing ourselves in a virtual world. We're talking about actually changing how we present ourselves, the environment itself, or even our senses
Wow.
in ways that fundamentally change how we interact.
So we're not just replicating real-world interaction, we're, like, hacking it.
Exactly.
So-
And they break down TSIs into three main categories.
Okay, hit me.
First up, transformations of self-presentation. This could mean tweaking your avatar's appearance or how it acts in ways that don't match your real-world movements.
Okay, like what?
Imagine an avatar that looks way older or younger than you,
Okay, yeah.
or one that walks forward while you're walking backward in real life.
Whoa.
You could even have your avatar change how it looks or acts depending on who you're interacting with.
So, like, a different version of yourself for each person you meet?
Yeah, kind of like that.
That's wild.
Then there's transformations of situational context.
Oh, okay, what that?
This means changing the virtual environment itself, like the layout of a virtual classroom, or even how time flows.
Okay, so you could manipulate the whole virtual world?
Exactly. In a virtual meeting, you could make everyone feel like they're sitting at the head of the table.
Right.
Creates a sense of shared leadership.
Cool.
Or, since these interactions are recorded, you could rewind a key part of the discussion to make sure everyone understands.
Oh, right.
You could even fast forward through the boring parts to save time.
That would be awesome.
Right.
Okay, and the last one, transformations of sensory abilities.
That's where it gets really sci-fi.
Right.
This is about giving users extra sensory input, like being able to see the virtual world through another person's avatar,
Whoa.
or having data visualizations overlaid on your view that show what other people are doing.
That would be so cool.
Right.
These are some powerful tools. How can we use them in education?
Oh, so many possibilities.
The authors talk about non-zero-sum gaze.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
Well, eye contact is huge in social interactions.
Right.
It can really influence people. But in the real world, you can only make eye contact with one person at a time.
Yeah.
In an IVE, an instructor's avatar could look at every student at the same time, from each student's individual point of view.
So everyone feels like they're getting that direct attention.
Exactly. That's non-zero-sum gaze.
Cool. And they actually tested this, right?
They did. They had a virtual presenter interact with people under different gaze conditions.
Okay.
Natural gaze, where the presenter looked at them normally.
Okay.
Augmented gaze, where the presenter was always looking directly at them.
Wow.
And reduced gaze, where the presenter looked down a lot.
Gotcha. What did they find?
They found an interesting gender difference.
Okay.
Women felt more persuaded by the presenter in the augmented gaze condition.
So the constant eye contact worked on them.
It seems so.
Yeah.
But men didn't show that same effect.
Huh, interesting.
The authors think it might be because of how men and women process nonverbal cues differently.
Makes sense.
Another interesting thing was the women who felt more persuaded by the constant eye contact,
Yeah.
they didn't consciously realize it was happening.
So it wasn't just about feeling watched.
Right. It was more subtle than that.
Wow.
Okay, next example. A situational context, TSI.
Cool.
The ideal seat in a virtual classroom.
Right, because in a real classroom, where you sit matters.
It does. But in an IVE, everyone can have the best seat in the house.
Oh yeah, no bad seats.
They did a study where students were placed in different virtual seats, some closer to the instructor, some further away,
Okay.
and the results were clear. The students who were closer did better on tests.
Oh, so it really does matter, even virtually.
It seems to.
Interesting.
And get this, the effect was even stronger when a student was initially far away and then moved closer.
Huh. So maybe it's about actively choosing to be closer.
Could be. Makes you think about how we connect with the instructor, even in a digital space.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, last example, a sensory ability TSI.
In this one, they gave instructors feedback on where they were looking in the virtual classroom.
Oh, interesting. Because sometimes instructors focus on certain students more than others, right?
It happens. So in this study, the virtual student agents would become more or less opaque depending on how much the instructor was looking at them.
So if the instructor wasn't looking at a student, that student would start to fade.
Exactly. It was a subtle cue to spread their gaze around.
Clever. Did it work?
It did. The instructors who got this feedback looked at all the students more equally, especially the ones on the edges of the room.
So even small changes can make teaching more inclusive in these environments.
Exactly.
These TSI examples are amazing. It's not just about recreating a real classroom, it's about improving it.
Right. Like, we can use this tech to boost learning and make education more engaging and fair.
Absolutely.
And it's not just about visual attention. There's so much potential with other senses, too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Another interesting thing they found was, in these TSI studies, whether the learners thought they were interacting with a human or an agent didn't seem to matter that much.
Right. So even if you know it's an agent, those TSIs can still be super effective.
Exactly. Goes back to that behavioral response system we talked about.
Right.
Even if you consciously know it's an agent, those automatic responses still kick in.
Makes sense.
Of course, these are early studies. They have their limitations.
Right.
The interactions were short. The roles were assigned.
Yeah.
And that first gaze study with the gender difference shows we need more research on how individual learners respond to TSIs.
Right.
But it all points to the potential for truly personalized adaptive learning systems.
Imagine a system that tailors the instructor's TSIs to each student
Yeah.
based on their learning style or how engaged they are.
You could have instructor avatars that look like the learners to build a stronger connection.
That's a great idea.
Or even more dynamic stuff, like the system could learn what movements or gaze patterns work best for each student
Wow.
and adjust the instructor's behavior in real time to keep them engaged.
That would be amazing.
Uh,
It sounds like these IV systems could be incredibly powerful.
yeah.
Okay, so we covered a lot in this deep dive.
We did. To quickly recap, we explored that four-factor model of social influence. How our beliefs about others' minds, the realism of communication, those automatic responses, and how personally relevant the interaction is.
Yeah,
They all matter in IVs.
they do.
Then we dove into transformed social interactions,
Right. Changing how we present ourselves, the environment, our senses.
all to boost learning and create better educational experiences.
Exactly.
And finally, we talked about the potential for adaptive virtual learning.
Personalized learning for everyone.
Precisely.
So, as we wrap up, here's a final thought.
Okay.
Given this incredible ability to transform social interactions in virtual learning, what's the most responsible and effective way to design these experiences?
That's the question.
How do we maximize learning without creating unintended problems?
Right.
And maybe even more importantly, what aspects of human connection should we not touch, even though we can?
That's a big one.
It's a brave new world, and we're just starting to explore it.
Exciting times.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
My pleasure.